Hello everyone, this is Bob and Threadbare, and welcome back to Thi4f.
I'm Kalen Zombie.
I'm Random Ninja.
And we're back in the clock tower. You might notice the gears are turning now, though.
Oh boy.
Apparently Garrett fixed it in his free time, because the clock suddenly starting running on its own is not suspicious in any way.
All my supplies. I should ready myself before I leave.
Did he dust? Or is it still disgusting and dirty?
Well, let's look behind the chest, man.
That's a really empty chest for something that he stores all his stuff in.
It looks like it's still a little dusty, but it looks a little better.
Well, he's lit the candles. That's about it, though.
If I find things that I want to keep, I could put them here.
Also, he
But not
probably should have
everything
been
collecting here
saying
is dust.
this stuff last
How long
time,
have I been away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but for some reason he's saying it now instead.
How long have I been away? Roughly a year? People have been telling you that?
They've mentioned that a time or two.
Yeah, like, they said that at least 3 times last time.
You can see my collection's grown a little bit,
Collectibles of valuables that he can sell,
but doesn't.
But doesn't.
but doesn't.
And for some reason he's still wanted, or was wanted? What?
Now, if I were a certain famous YouTube channel, there would be a counter in the top right corner, and then there would have been a dink sound, and the number would have incremented for that particular shot.
Okay.
Smart bird.
But yeah, there's the crow delivering the matchbox.
And there's the crow leaving again. Twice now. Dude, cut your nails. It's gross.
Apparently, manicure is not a job requirement for a thief.
No.
You know, it'd be nice if instead of it now being a loading screen, you dove out the window or something awesome.
Just like a masked loading screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I think leaping out the window would be too much like Assassin's Creed, and we've already got too much Assassin's Creed in here.
Yes. Because this game has problems ripping off other games, obviously.
Yeah.
We're all Blackhand. From this day forward, any citizen caught thieving will be hanged.
You know, they're making a really big deal about thieving. I assume they're ignoring
Nothing
all the
changes hands
murderers.
in this city
and
without
stuff.
Basso catching wind of it. He says it's a gift. In my line of work, I'm inclined to agree.
Also, notice that balcony is completely empty now.
Huh.
Somehow that guy just disappeared in the few seconds it took for Garrett's vision to reorient itself with his head. Not sure how else to describe what happened there.
So I finally started watching the Thief 3 LP, and...
Oh, hey, look!
Oh, this again.
Time for more petty vandalism.
It's not a screwdriver.
Fine.
It's not what that does. Sorry.
Anyway, I've been watching the Thief 3 LP, and I have to say that even compared to the other 2 games, that game's overworld map is way huger than this one, which is saying something.
I wouldn't say that.
Look what's
Oh,
become
have we
of
not
the
seen the whole thing yet?
No.
1 year ago,
No.
we had hope, but now the
Oh, do we
city's
ever get to
rotted
see any
with
guy
gloom,
like Benny
with
the guard?
famine,
No.
with the Baron's
Aw.
empty promises.
Benny was the best part.
Yeah, but Benny's voice actor is Garrett's voice actor, and they didn't bring Garrett's voice actor back, so...
Oh, true.
Also, you may notice Basso is missing. This is not Black Alley.
Orion warned us that our
It's said to meet him in Black Alley.
He warned us
This isn't
that our
it, so he's
family
not
would
here.
be dragged to the
Okay.
glue pits.
Good thing there's that magical
Brink of death.
waypoint, though.
Yeah.
I have something that might interest you. I have something for all your nefarious needs.
So he's definitely a pedophile, right?
Wouldn't put it past that face, no. Alright, but that's one of my 2 tools.
Watch
Or
yourself.
one of 3 tools, actually. The razor, the wire cutter, and the wrench.
Getting started.
And I clearly cannot afford all 3 at once at this point.
Wire cutter seems cool though.
It is immensely useful.
Okay.
You will find out just how useful it is before the end of
Woke me out
this.
of a dead sleep
Okay.
while I was passed out in the gutter. What did he
Kind
say?
of unfortunate you didn't buy it then, hindsight being 2020.
No, I got a plan.
I think the point is that all of them are kind of useful.
He knows everybody.
Well, if anything, the razor is the least useful because that is specifically to collect one kind of collectible and nothing else.
Oh, is that the artwork thing?
Yes.
Okay.
The razor has no other purpose except to collect the collectible artwork.
Did you change any of the game settings? It feels darker than it was in previous videos.
No, I didn't change the brightness of this one. I mean, I've been adjusting it for the dark mod, but that's because it started out as really muddy.
Well, yeah, that's because Doom 3 was a pretty muddy game, and it is based off of Doom 3.
Come to keep an old woman company?
Want to play some chess?
Nope, just want to buy myself a
A
focus
small
point.
fortune for the less fortunate? Stay a while.
Stay a while and listen. And this is going straight into efficiency. There we go. That's what it looks like when it's got 2 points in there.
Nice.
That's a big old bar of blue.
Anyway, I don't have nearly enough money, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go play Chapter 2 again. Like so. And I'm going to get Ghost with the challenge just to prove a point
That you can?
that I can.
Okay.
I have something for all your nefarious.
And I'm always going to leave this in because I want you to understand why I hate that guy.
Okay. You want us to hate him as much as you do.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Well, on it. It won't take long.
Yeah, no, it's already working.
All it needs now is a mustache twirl and, maybe
Watch yourself out there.
white van. White van would fit him.
White windowless van.
Borrowed brooch down to Oxheart Perry's.
The pawn shop? Bad call.
That's not the worst of it. I stopped in an alley along the way to take a piss and I dropped the damn thing.
Guy outside is
I think
really
you better pray you
angry.
catch the gloom before
Yeah.
she
Very
catches
loud.
you.
He's very...
By the way, those are the Burks in the upper left there. I just moved
Say,
away.
Horley,
Oh.
you ever think about joining the
So they don't have Burks, but they do have Burrick heads.
They're not allowed in the Burrick. 2 words, my friend. Free drink.
So you don't ever fight Burricks in this game? That's a shame.
A man can't live on coffee. All right, then. Let's
So
have another
thinking
pint to
back on
forget
it,
that
it
idea.
is... I haven't finished the LP yet. I'm pretty far in it, but thinking back on it, Thief 3 didn't have any Burks either.
No. Well, the second game really didn't have any Burks either. I mean, Burks were sort of before Thief realized what kind of game it should be. That's why it focuses so much on the undead and...
Well, yeah. It was trying to be like
I
a
knew you'd return.
sort of low magic D&D setting, I guess.
Well, it was trying to be like an FPS game, but without the guns. Because in the beginning, it was supposed to be about the combat, but then they realized the combat sucked, so they decided to recycle the engine that had the sucky combat into a game about stealth.
Yeah, that was a really good idea.
It was a good move.
Not make that about combat. From what I've seen of the first game, the combat was not
Oh,
awesome.
the combat is awful. I am replaying the first game, and man, it is just so much easier to walk around and blackjack everyone, which is sort of the point.
Yeah, I mean, as simple as the combat in Thi4f is, I mean, the combat in Thi4f is 2 buttons. Dodge and hit. Oh yeah, and a third button, which is end the fight. As simple and rudimentary as it is, at least it is easier to use than the original Thief
God.
combat system.
Oh, hey.
And it makes more sense than Morrowind. Those are pretty plaques, but I feel like they're kind of silly collectibles.
No, they're extremely silly collectibles, and like I said, I'm just imagining Garrett here walking around with like a whole stack of them, and one just falls over, and he just looks around embarrassed and slowly bends over to pick it back up.
Alright, so here's the thing, by the way. We are not going to Black Alley.
But jerky isn't the only thing dried up in this city.
Instead, I am going the opposite direction. And also, I don't really care about those guys. It's not like the game keeps track of how many guards you've alerted in the overworld area.
Is there a purpose to these guards in the overworld area?
To annoy you.
Trick you?
The same purpose as ever in any other area, which is to catch you and attempt to kill you.
Right, but, you know, it's just you can run away from them. There's no mission objective. There's absolutely no reason to stay near them instead of sprinting away.
Well, sometimes there's loot nearby. But they do tend to respawn if you, like, leave the area.
I saw going down in Blackborough last night.
Spit it out, I'm not guessing.
Fine, fine.
Also, you see that point where you can throw a rope arrow?
Crazy Jacob.
Yeah?
I am going to ignore that.
That's one word for it.
Cool.
For as long as possible?
Well, until I can finally explore this area and know that all the collectibles and loot is present.
Oh.
Ah, it's one of those. How are those screwed into the stone?
Very powerful bolts.
But you unscrew them so easily.
Very short bolts.
Yeah, very short but very powerful.
Yeah. So, this is the DLC mission. We are going to go and rob the bank.
Awesome!
And for some reason, the bank heist is DLC.
Hey, look, it's a heist. Some comment about GTA 5.
I wouldn't know. I've never played a GTA game aside from maybe an hour and a half worth of 4, and I hated it.
Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna buy GTA 5.
No.
Yeah, for your computer. Yeah, and then you're gonna play it.
No.
And we're gonna be best of friends, Kalon.
I stopped at San Andreas myself. I just sort of moved over into Saints Row instead.
Yeah, I've already got Ape hounding me to get Far Cry 4, and it's like, I
should be careful.
I can't afford it right now.
Alright, then we'll all get Ass Creed Unity.
No, that's even
Does
worse.
not sound like the right kind of compromise here.
That is a step in the wrong direction, man.
I'm freezing.
Listen, if you've paid a shred of attention to my Twitter feed, you know how much I just loathe that series.
Except for the one game where you were a pirate.
Okay, yeah, 4 was pretty great. But 4 was only fun, really, for the sailing, and for chasing down sea shanties for the sailing, and that was pretty much the only fun part of 4.
I enjoyed 4. Good game. Kinda sad that they decided to reproduce the exact same shitty game that they'd been doing before that. Wow, guys, look at all this interest we got for this new game in the series. Let's not do that ever again.
Nope, never.
Well, anyway, so, regarding the bank here, you may have noticed, but that window was open. That's a possible entry point to get into the bank.
I like their outfits. Those are some snazzy outfits.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
Dang, why can't Garrett wear that? It's a much better outfit.
I know, right?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Don't run away!
Are you just gonna hide back? Oh, okay, I was like... If this seriously works, you're just hiding around the corner and he doesn't notice you.
Then it's some kind of Batman action going on.
Well, I just wanted to show you the focus thing that I got. Which is that press R to, knock them down into that press Q to take down section. But
Yeah, I noticed that.
And now I know why you upgraded your focus.
yeah, but in the process, I failed 2 of the bonus objectives. So I just reloaded.
Okay.
And these bonus objectives get you more meaningless gold.
Well, it's not meaningless. I am trying to save up for those, upgrades and such.
Which you could continue just replaying the mission.
Right.
Not that I would suggest, taking longer and doing that.
It's just that I'm playing this mission to get that gold instead,
Right.
And this mission seems like a much better way to do it, considering it is a freaking bank. Oh, man.
Well, you say that, but we'll find out, won't we?
No. Let me tell you, bank heists.
Well, there is one other thing I just wanted to mention here, is that in side jobs like this one, the game does not keep track of your play style.
Tough times.
So, those 3 bonus objectives, you can actually get all 3 of them.
Oh, nice.
It does not just arbitrarily tell you that, okay, you played like this, so if you did this objective, then you get money. But if you did this other objective while playing like that, then you get nothing.
Oh, no. But yes, bank heists. One time...
Also, camera.
Oh.
This is the only area in the entire game where those cameras exist.
Also, hey, that camera actually noticed that Garrett was not even behind the statue, which I was just about to complain about.
Well, pillar, but yes.
Pillar, sorry, yes.
In the meantime, this guy can't be really bothered.
Now, do the cameras notice unconscious bodies?
I am not going to take that chance.
Oh, hey!
He's probably just taking a nap.
Oh, no, it's...
There's one thing about the cameras, though.
They can be doused with water and short-circuited? Oh, they're steam-powered or something. Okay.
That is the dumbest camera ever.
Candle-powered camera. Don't ask me how that works.
The stupidest is what that is. But at least you can drink to forget.
All I can tell you for certain is that it is at least a little bit clever in that the game never actually points out the fact that those are candles behind the cameras.
This is true.
Yeah.
So you do at least have to realize that that is what is going on in order to get rid of the cameras.
Still makes absolutely no sense.
None at all.
No, it doesn't.
But steampunk, yay!
Hooray!
But this is the 3rd entry point, 2nd being front door.
You mean you didn't want to rob a bank by breaking in the front door?
Must be.
I
hope
could
you
have,
didn't just leave it
but
anywhere.
Of course not.
Have you tried all
Put it in
3?
one of the lockers.
You done a process of elimination kind of thing?
Which one?
Well, I've thoroughly searched the place.
I wrote it down. It's in my pocket.
See, here's the thing with the Thief games,
You should tell
Random,
Mrs.
because you've
Moses.
never really
She
played
handles
them
all vault
before.
security.
Usually the most obvious entrance is the worst entrance. Usually. I think there have been a couple of times when the most obvious entrance was actually pretty good, but most of the time you don't want to go in the front door.
But how else will you demand money from the teller?
This is kind of after bank hours, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would explain all the darkness.
And at least one person sleeping on the job.
One doesn't understand how people...
Well, it's a couple now that you've gotten here.
Sleeping and more or less dead is kind of different.
Did you know if you're unconscious for, I think it's like 4 minutes, you suffer permanent brain damage and you might as well be dead?
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
So Garrett's whole no murdering shtick, yeah, sorry Garrett, but...
Well, to be fair, his times...
It's something that's ignored in pretty much
video games.
Every video game.
Yeah.
Where you can knock people out. So you cannot
Yep.
blame this game for adhering to that.
True, because, like, man, when I'm playing the Batman games and Batman just, like, knocks somebody out in the cold, snow, just, like, on the top of a roof, it's like, Batman, no, you just murdered that man.
Well, plus all of the actual combat in which he breaks numerous bones and probably causes a disturbing amount of internal bleeding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And again, leaving them out in the cold.
They get all septic and shit. Yeah, they're definitely dead.
So, like, that's my favorite part about Batman Arkham Origins is that, like, you can read in one of the newspapers that, like, over the next, like, 2 or 3 weeks or something, that Gotham is expecting, like, 400 inches of snow. So you just beat up men and leave them outside when it's going to snow, like, 70 inches overnight.
How did that door close as quietly as it did?
I don't know. They all do that.
You just kind of pushed it closed.
And there's the vault code. Just right there.
Yes. Just right there. Right out in the open. Nobody's getting fired for that, by the way. Just leaving that very confidential information out in the open like that.
Also, the doors are double jointed.
Okay.
Unlike every other Thief game. But to be fair, I opened that door in front of a guard and he kind of noticed, so...
Faulty latch, I bet.
Good. I was worried.
Yes, a faulty latch. That's definitely what that was.
Yeah, I was good with it until that excuse there.
I heard Southry, the old manager, died recently.
This game really isn't trying to hide that this is entirely hey, here's a DLC for you to get money.
He was a fair bit more lenient than Mondas.
Of course not.
Find and smash the vase?
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's right here, actually. There's a gold watch in a red vase full of the old manager's ashes.
Never get past the friggin'
All right.
So that is why we are going to go smash a red vase.
What do you think? It's a bank.
And not just, pour it out quietly and siphon through the ashes.
Nope, gotta smash it.
Have to smash it.
Well, that's the only way you can interact with vases.
Do you throw it on the ground or do you blackjack it?
By the way, I decided to test out just here whether I can freely knock out civilians. The answer is no.
Oh!
No, I can do nothing to civilians whatsoever.
See, at least in the old games, as long as you didn't kill civilians, they didn't care. You can knock out the servants left and right.
You sadist.
I hear a camera.
Yeah, it's downstairs, though.
Okay. Wait, didn't you get an upgrade that lets you steal multiple things at once? Why are you stealing one thing at a time?
No, I don't think I picked that one up.
Oh, okay, that's right. That was just an option. I thought you picked that one for some reason.
I picked the combat one instead.
Great.
Because the combat in this game is so intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, it gives me more chances to, knock them out. Which on hard...
It's true, the...
that guard just got freaked out because the civilian behind him turned on the lights.
Nothing here. That's a shame. Could use a little excitement.
That creaking dry dock Mondas thinks I've been stealing from the till.
So you could murder all these people.
Have you?
Of course not.
Except the civilians, apparently.
Except the civilians, but he could be shooting arrows at all the guards.
I could.
Because if it doesn't track your playstyle, no problem.
I could, yeah.
What do you think?
But arrows cost money.
It's a bank, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
Because there's a shortage of men. Yes, that's
You need
true.
to stop reading those crime novels. The high collars will...
And in any case, I'm also going for the never detected thing, which is by itself probably the main reason why this video is so long.
Yeah.
Because I'm...
So then, they tend to notice when other guards get, you know, an arrow to the face?
I used to be a guard like you. I took an arrow to the face.
Now I'm dead. Except, you know, Garrett's not a murderer.
How am I even talking here?
Anyway...
Oh, is this an alternate universe?
I have no idea why that guy decided to go in the opposite direction of the noise.
Probably got some kind of terrible degenerative disease that he can't hear things properly. He's been to one too many rock concerts.
His tinnitus was acting up.
Forget it. Get out of the shadows, will you?
In any case, I did have to trigger that guard because he is, you know, standing next to a light source like that.
Guess I must be.
But he didn't notice you, supposedly.
No, he just walked right on past me.
Yeah, his eyeball was only yellow.
What just happened to the camera?
I walked too close to the edge, and he leaned over it.
Ah.
Because that is a function that you can do.
I thought he was about to jump off. Goodbye, cruel world.
Well, you can jump off.
I don't want to be in this game anymore!
I wish I was in a better sneaky sneak game.
I'll never live up to the original Garrett!
These lines you fed me are horrible.
Why do I not sell? Should I steal?
In any case, it looks like I've finally gotten rid of the guards on this floor. And for some reason, the two civilians have gone to opposite ends of the room and are going to stand there staring at whatever it is they're looking at. So I can just freely steal everything from this floor.
Well, yeah, that's what...
You know, I just want to say it is some level of decadent when the bank gives you a gold ink bottle.
Yeah, it does seem kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Especially what with all of the guaranteed ink stains.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they use glass or, I guess, plastic these days. Not that you see too many ink bottles these days, but...
Milady.
Depends on the job you've got.
Yeah.
Inkwells, much like typewriters, are reserved for neckbeards and or people with a very specific set of skills.
Yep.
So that's that camera you were hearing earlier.
We heard it through the floor.
Yes.
There's open space there. I mean, I could actually believe that. That guy's...
But being candle operated is a bit...
No. No.
I can't get over how surprised they always are when they're sleeping and you knock them out.
Oh no! They should just, like, make no noise.
It's like, you got me.
Oh, you caught me sleeping. Oh, well.
Wah, wah.
Tag, oh!
Dang it.
Oh, by the way, the Burnt Emerald, from what I can figure, is just some odd little thriller novel thing that they've got in the, for whatever reason.
The Lusty Argonian made.
And the thing is, though, that if you actually read the Burnt Emerald, the writing in that is about on par with the writing in the rest of the Thief game.
So it's like... Is it supposed to be serious, or is it a joke? What's your take on that? Really? We stole the desk bell? Well, I guess nobody's getting service here for the next year.
I think it's supposed to be like Jacob's shadow was in Deus Ex. Just an odd little throwaway thing that kind of ties into the plot, but for the most part doesn't. It's just there for flavor.
Jesus!
Stealing all the desk bells, which for some reason are all gold.
And are worth more than scissors, apparently.
Well, that I can believe.
Worth more than a golden inkwell.
Now, here comes the really tricky part. Because we've got a couple of civilians with overlapping patrol routes, and she in particular has a very short patrol path here. Like, she goes from that desk...
And you can't knock them out.
Over to that bookcase, and then back again.
I see you got caught a time or two.
Yeah.
It's... I can hear the crying.
I know it.
It's just degenerating.
How many times did you have to try this over?
I think the answer is too many.
I earned the money I got from being unseen.
I'm starving.
I earned that money, damn it. You know what the craziest part about this lady is? You can pickpocket her earrings.
What?
Just like so.
No! No, that's stupid! This whole game is stupid! I hate this! This is great. I love it.
That's the silliest, most unbelievable thing yet, I think.
Oh my god. At least in Thief 3, when you wanted to steal their earrings, you either had to hold them up or knock them out first.
Yeah, you did not somehow pluck them straight off of their ears.
Well, here's what I think's gonna happen in Thi4f. It's, you're gonna be stealing cock rings straight out of their
God!
So I take it you read the note I placed on the last video?
I did not, no.
No.
Okay, because, you know, in the furnace, I knocked out that one guard, like, straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I hadn't, he would have gotten into a conversation with the other guards in that room about cock rings and fucking the dead guard's wife.
Okay.
Well, that's an interesting little note. You know, it'd be nice if he could bop those civvies on the head.
Yep.
That would be super nice.
Why are they here? Don't they go home? How much do they like their job?
They are getting triple overtime for this. And then they're going to be all blamed for the break-in, and they're going to get fired with no severance pay.
So, Walmart, then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tough times.
Just going to make a quick run through here because there was one item in the stairwell which I spotted on my way past.
Maybe this Orion fellow is onto something.
I like the swooshing.
20 gold for a silver pocket watch.
Man, imagine how much that gold pocket watch is going to be worth.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gonna be bringing home the bank.
Probably about twice as much because that's how the system seems to work.
Yeah.
No, Bobbin, I made a clever bank pun. Just let me have my day.
No. Listen, if we wanted somebody to be in here to make puns, we'll fire you and get G-Op.
Yeah, he's better than puns. Also, hey, shout out to G-Op. So, this guy's not asleep, or...
He was.
No, he was.
Now he's not.
Well, now he's extra sleepy.
I was about to say, technically he's probably super asleep.
Have you any idea why?
Also, that Civvy is freaking out because he sees the knocked out guard, but not me, next to him, picking a lock. You can tell because his eyeball is empty.
Yeah.
Now that chick's freaking out, too.
Yep.
So much to live for.
Well, good, because Garrett probably won't murder you.
Probably.
So long as he doesn't actually see me, I don't care. Does not count against my objectives.
That's still dumb.
I gotta be careful here, though. Because water arrows also cost money. And you see those red lines and those red panels?
Yeah?
That's where the wire cutter would come in?
Yes. If I step on those panels, which you can see are raised even without focus, you can find them without using focus vision, which is nice. But if I step on them, then arrows will fire out and harm me.
Okay.
But this is what wire cutters are for.
Because cutting one wire would definitely undo the whole system.
Well, apparently it does.
Yeah.
I guess this trap is just some kind of Rube Goldberg trap then. Someone's been playing a lot of Mousetrap, and then they got a job at the bank and was like, yeah, I got this. Got this under control.
Yeah. It's good.
These traps rely a lot on wound springs to work, I guess.
And as we all know, when you cut the rope, those springs unwind immediately. There's never any delay.
Never.
And they shut off the entire room and not just one part of it.
Yeah, but that's another one of those things that's been done in every single stealth game out there. And you just kind of need to accept it, right? If you're gonna steal aspects from other games, I may as well steal every aspect.
One day I want there to be a trap in a video game as devious as some of the 10-foot pole traps that Gary Gygax came up with when everybody was like, well, let's just use a 10-foot pole on everything. So he designed traps specifically
to go off 10 feet behind where they're triggered.
Yeah. There's, for one example, a chest in the middle of a hallway, and so your players are like, well, it's obviously trapped, so we're just going to open it with a 10-foot pole. So you stand 10 feet back, and then the walls smash in everywhere except like a circle around the chest.
And by the way, this is apparently what passes for a security deposit boxes here. Safety deposit boxes.
Oh. They're locked.
With the weakest possible lock.
Yeah.
It's still a lock.
Obviously, you need to pay some sort of premium on a monthly basis to get the better locks, and nobody's paid for that.
Well, these are actually outside of the vault itself, too, for some reason.
What?
We did not pass into the vault. You did not see us pass into the vault.
Wow.
You did not pass go. You did not collect $200.
This is the worst bank.
Also, there's some really silly shit stored in those safe deposit boxes.
Well, at least they're valuable.
Yeah.
And now gone forever. Wonder if they have insurance in plague-ridden not England.
You're stealing the desk back from Okay, Garrett.
The real question is, why did they put the desk bell inside a drawer in the desk?
I know!
It was the backup desk bell. Or there was someone who thought they were funny and just kept ringing the bell. And got tired of that shit. Like, oh, screw this, I'm locking this drawer.
Maybe it was last year's desk bell, because that one was silver instead of the gold ones in the lobby.
Yeah.
It was their emergency desk bell.
Mm-hmm.
If someone managed to steal all the other desk bells, well,
they had that one at least. Only not anymore.
Well, that's the second place that you can find the combination for the vault. Which, for whatever reason, is a 3-number code.
Well, as everyone knows, Bobbin, the only safes are the ones with 3-digit tumblers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the same number as that's the same combination as my luggage.
All right, but we got this note right next to the vault itself, which is kind of important because it says that
there are a few things left to savor in this city. Like the smell of a newly opened vault.
Thanks, Garrett. It's not opened yet, though, so maybe you could have held off on that.
Yeah.
I don't really get it either. I'm just double-checking up here to make sure I got everything. I'm turning off the lights just because I can, because there's nothing to see me.
Is that like a phone pipe? That looks like a phone pipe.
I don't know.
Well, anyway... So, we got all these documents telling us the code for the vault. And there are 2 of them that are actually important. The first one is the letter to Monders, which has the full combination. The second is the vault repair code that tells you that the 8 is actually a 3 now.
Oh.
Because apparently the 8 is faulty on one of these dials. Because that's secure.
Yeah. Now don't get it repaired or anything, just change it to 3.
Good job no one memorized this thing.
Also, there's something funny about the, about those handles in this game, is that you actually have to spin the mouse in a circle.
Oh, I love those mouse spinny quick time events.
Which I guess is another holdover from the, designed also for consoles.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of cameras.
Wow, look at all those cameras, yeah. That are all
operated by candle.
Yeah, it's super dumb.
I'm only going to, get rid of the 1 right now, though.
Another desk bell. That was 2 years ago's model.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that there are both red and blue tiles here. Well, the blue tiles actually serve a second function.
Okay.
I'll explain it once it becomes relevant.
Sounds like it triggered a silent alarm?
No. Actually, what I did was I reloaded the save, and the civilian back a couple rooms back freaked out about the guard body again because I reloaded.
Best game. Best game.
Alright, but before I get into the central vault, I'm going to have to explore all of these side vaults here.
I don't understand this game's technology, and I probably never will.
No, it's best that you don't think about it.
I have serious issues with steampunk aesthetics.
I think we all do.
Also, you can steal bonds.
Okay.
So every time you hear this music in this particular part, that's just because the civilians saw the body and freaked out again?
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That is the best.
So, you steal the bonds. My guess is that...
Hey, wait. It's a red vase.
Hey!
I don't think you need to keep a schedule anymore.
There was an awful lack of awful lack of ashes in that vase. Oh, and it's split cleanly down the middle. That's actually kind of neat.
And also, the watch isn't dirty at all.
And watch his, by the way, watch Garrett's shadow here. Watch his arm when he's opening drawers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny to watch his right arm go out. No, it just sort of throws his arm to the right every time you lean down to open something up.
What are all those metal bits?
I don't know, but Garrett doesn't want to find out.
Okay, so you can steal bonds, and they're worth 20 gold. My guess is that Basso somehow knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who can get that
Liquidated?
filled out somehow, yeah.
You know the funniest part, though, actually? Is that those bonds are actually worthless.
What?
Because you find out on this map a letter to the auditor that says that the city is essentially a few days from being bankrupt.
Oh, God.
So in other words, the city's bonds are worthless.
Yep.
Because they will never be repaid.
So, in actuality, you just did the city a favor.
Well, if you got money for it, it means you somehow managed to liquidate them.
Sold it to some poor sap who doesn't know any better, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, sneaky. It's not a button that time. It's a fancy lever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Scooby-Doo secret room.
Except it's not that secret, and you can see his arm now. Going out to the side.
Whoa! He needs to keep his balance, man.
You ever tried to open a drawer? It's hard work.
Yeah, it's just, whoa!
You know, I was tempted, actually, to name the thread Drawer Opening Simulator.
I believe it.
Hey, yeah, there it is.
Except that it couldn't have referenced the Dark Mod game, if that were the case.
True.
Don't open any drawers in the dark mod.
Well, you do, but it's just far less.
You do not open all the drawers in the Dark Mod.
No, you only open relevant drawers that actually have things in them.
Wouldn't that be a nice addition to this game?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. Pretty nice.
If only there was some kind
Oh,
of...
hey, there's a poppy growing in the corner of this bank vault.
What?
Hey, yeah, sure, I'd buy it. I mean, you gotta get your opium fix somehow.
It just doesn't seem like the right kind of
Dumb.
ground for that.
This is dumb. This whole game is dumb.
Be in a pot. You don't know.
I forgot I got the desk bell, that's why I doubled back there. Anyway, so here's the thing, is that both of these levers need to be pulled, but you cannot cross the blue tiles in order to get to the other side, assuming they are active. So you actually have to climb up and over the balcony and then down the other side in order to get to the other one before the first one undoes itself.
Poor old Lady Hudnall. First the fire.
And for some reason, that activated a deadly gas trap.
Okay.
And if you do not get out in about, like, 15 seconds, you will die.
I've heard of stupider bank traps. Thank you, Dungeons and Dragons.
But why only that, is my question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, they're still freaking out. That's cute.
I don't care. We've almost been talking about this dumb game for an hour.
Well, as DLCs go, honestly, this bank heist is actually pretty neat DLC for this type of game.
For this game,
this is a fun little interlude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been more fun if I didn't have to worry about getting spotted and could knock out civilians, but...
Well, the next 6 times you play it for money, you won't have to.
Those are both things that I did that were optional, so that's on me.
Yeah.
That's my fault that those two things are true. But hey, it was worth it, because Remain Undetected is worth 200 gold.
Whoa! Lift all loot items 98%. Aww.
1,000 in stolen gold. I missed one object, so I did not get the full loot objective.
Now, every time you start that mission again, it completely repopulates, right?
Yeah, the entire mission resets.
Okay.
And by the way, I had one other thing I'd like to do before this video ends. So, the thing about those paintings is that they all follow a certain motif.
Boobies?
Which is, they are all portraits of people. Except instead of human heads, they all have animal heads.
Okay.
So, you know, you got an animal in full armor. You got an animal standing in a natural environment. So, you know, that's fine. I mean, just...
Man, that got choppy.
Yeah. Whew.
It's just that 2 of the paintings are a little bit iffy. That they make you wonder why exactly they decided to go with this motif of all things. I mean, in-game, the explanation is simply that the painter went insane.
Okay.
Speaking of insane, this woman also went insane, and it ties into the prologue as well. That one room full of birds that belonged to this lady.
Alright, okay.
But, the out-of-game reason for why something like this exists is beyond my understanding.
Insanity is my guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's just that these two paintings, you know, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? Why does Garrett collect this thing?
Well, Bobbin.
Why does Garrett keep this in his hideout from here on out?
No!
Why is there a chair right in front of it?
No!
Well, that's easy. That's to appreciate the artwork.
No!
Yeah, art.
Remember how I said this was the best game? I lied.